The following is an AZPM original production.
Arizona Science is supported by Research Corporation for Science Advancement.
For AZPM, I'm Leslie Tolbert, Regents Professor Emerita in Neuroscience at the University of Arizona, and this is Arizona Science. Today we're talking with Mary Steiner, Regents Professor of Anthropology and Curator of Zoo Archaeology at the Arizona State Museum. Thanks for joining us, Mary.
Thank you. A pleasure to be here.
And congratulations on your recent election to the National Academy of Sciences.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
You've done field work really broadly across Europe and the Middle East, as well as in the U.S., and you've spent a lot of time working on Stone Age sites in the Mediterranean region. Tell us what it is about that region that appeals to you, and how far back does human habitation go at these sites?
Part of the reason I started working in the Mediterranean was chance. I really love the ecology of that part of the world. The biodiversity is really quite high. The geology is very interesting, and so on. But I also realized that the Mediterranean basin basically encompasses tremendous geographic variation, and it's also at the basically a nexus of three continents: Europe, Asia, and Africa. And indeed, it has a very long history of human presence, starting millions of years ago. The human lineage and all of our hominin ancestors got started in Africa, but they soon spilled into other areas, and the Mediterranean was one of the, providing some of the bridges for those kinds of geographic expansions, of which there were many in human evolutionary history.
So you can look at hunter and gatherer cultures, you can look at transitions from older to newer. And what are some of the most exciting, unexpected findings you've had?
Neanderthals, as many people are aware, were a very intelligent form of humanity. They were essentially a parallel form of humanity that existed in the world at the same time as our own ancestors, Homo sapiens, and we're very closely related to them. And one of the great mysteries is, why would Neanderthals go extinct? Why not just interbreed and become one, like an enormous melting pot? And in most areas, they're living really at the very top of the trophic pyramid, like wild lions and wolves and animals like that. They ate vegetables. They're an omnivore, but they are really a top predator as well. And those systems were very, very effective, although they could only support relatively small societies, which also limited some of the potential for population growth, the number of people that can be sustained over a large area, and also the sustainability of large social networks.
Is there anything particularly interesting about the Neanderthal genes that persisted in Homo sapiens?
There is. I'm not the best person to ask, and this is definitely ongoing research, but there are important aspects of, for example, the immune system that we have inherited from the Neanderthals. We also know that certain pigmentation patterns in Europeans are probably at least partially attributable to the Neanderthals. And I suppose with that, the ability to synthesize vitamin D in cold and cloudy areas. There are a number of other things too. They're not, simple genes you can say help somebody to do this or that, but the way they work in the overall protein building structure have presented people probably with some advantages. And hybridization does that, Suddenly you can accrue diversity that would have taken a long time to develop in a single population through random mutation.
Thank you very much for this really fascinating look into our ancient history. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. It was really a pleasure.
Mary Steiner is a professor of anthropology and also a zooarchaeology curator at the Arizona State Museum. You can listen to this and all Arizona Science conversations at azpm.org/Arizona Science. I'm Leslie Tolbert.
Thank you to Research Corporation for Science Advancement for their support of Arizona Science. AZPM podcasts are made possible in part by donations from listeners like you. Learn more at support.azpm.org. Thank you.